Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. Love has many languages, but the one we forget most often is the one spoken without a single word. We've been taught to look for love in confessions, in the right timing, in that perfect spoken phrase that finally makes it all make sense. But real love? It shows up in dishes done before being asked, in checking on someone even when they haven't replied in weeks, in driving across town just to sit on a porch in silence. Love moves. Not just hearts or feelings. It moves us. And when it's real, it doesn't just say, "I love you." It becomes, "I love you" in every small act that makes the invisible visible. Think of the last time you felt loved. Not the last time you heard it, but the last time someone acted in a way that made your body go still, your guard drop, your chest soften. That moment when something inside you whispered, "I matter." It might have been someone bringing you soup when you were sick, or holding space when you broke down in tears, or remembering a detail that you mentioned once long ago and weaving it back into the world as a gift. That's love. That's love speaking in its clearest voice. We sometimes think that love must be dramatic to be real. Like grand declarations, perfect timing, fireworks, redemption arcs. But love speaks most fluently in the everyday. You know, the mundane, the unnoticed. And really, that's good news, because it means that you can speak it too, right now, today. You know, you don't have to wait for a miracle. You don't need to be eloquent, and you don't need to fix anyone. You just need to choose love in motion, in action, in rhythm. What does love in action look like? I'm sure you're asking. It looks like waiting with patience instead of, forcing a resolution to whatever problem you're having. Choosing curiosity when judgment would be the easier way. Letting someone go, not because you stopped loving them, but because you do. Saying, "You don't have to explain, I'm here." Boy, those are powerful words. And it's not always directed at others. Sometimes love's most powerful action is turning inward. Sitting beside your own grief instead of rushing in to numb it. Drinking water, resting, taking the walk, making the call you've been avoiding, reminding yourself that your own well-being matters. Not as a reward, but as a given. That too is fluent love. It just is. We live in a world where people are aching to feel loved, but terrified to show it, to risk it, to look foolish or weak or vulnerable. You know, before I started doing this, I thought, well, I'm going to look like a fool. And now I'm like, why? What matters about that? The most grounded, durable love is not the one that performs. It's the one that serves. It's not about applause. It's about presence. It's about following through. Not because you're flawless, but because you care. Love in the language of action is the hand reaching out, even while it trembles. What would your life look like if you trusted that every small act of care was enough? Not a placeholder, not a consolation, not a stepping stone to something bigger. Enough. Because maybe the grand gestures don't save us. Maybe the small ones do. Maybe it's the half smile in the hallway. The text that simply says, "You crossed my mind." The apology that comes not with a speech, but with changed behavior. Maybe it's the decision to love someone better today, not because they deserve it, not because they deserve it more than yesterday, but because you are stronger than you were yesterday. That's what you need to think about. You don't need to know the perfect words. Just bring the groceries, guys. Hold the door. Look them in the eye. Send the message. Show up. Even when it feels small. Especially when it feels small. Because every act of love in motion becomes a thread. And every thread, lovingly chosen, becomes a bridge. And that bridge might be the only path that someone has left. I mean, you never know what your small gesture might unlock in other people. So today, let love speak through you without waiting for it to sound perfect. Let it move through your voice, your body, your tone, your choices. Let it leave fingerprints on the world that don't need to be traced back to you. And, let it begin, not someday, but now. Because the language of love, well, you already speak it. With your hands, with your eyes, with your courage, and with your care. You've been speaking it all along, really. This is Infinite Threads, guys. This is where love becomes visible, not through promises, but through practice. Where the smallest actions tell the truest stories, where we remember that every gesture counts because every heart does too. And you guys, you are part of that story. You are all threads, and we're all connected. And I love you all very, very, very much. And you know what I need you to do. Go out and pass that on. Later, Gators. Bye-bye.